anyone under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa.
Biafra, Merani, Onuzo Biafra, Na Merani, Onuzo Biafra, Merani, Onuzo Biafra.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we disseminate information that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. I appreciate everyone that has connected to this platform. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands for the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the supreme command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, COS interim, I welcome all of you to this very platform. Happy New Year to everyone that is watching, wherever you are watching from. We are in a new year. And as we enter the new year, many people are asking questions and they say, what next? Where is the way to go? The way to go is simple. We are pursuing the recognition of the United States of Biafra and the restoration of Biafra fully on the ground. That is the phase where we are today. Every one of us must continue to give our contribution the best way we can. And remember, I urge you to like and share. Share to your neighbors, share to your family, share to everyone to key in and join us on this gospel. Do not be distracted. Regardless what you hear, regardless what you see, regardless the propaganda and blackmail that is flying from right, left, and center, do not get distracted. Be focused, because Biafra have been declared on the 29th of November 2024, and there is no going back. We are pursuing the recognition of Biafra.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja upheld the classification of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as a terrorist organization, dismissing their appeal and reaffirming the Federal High Court's decision. The ruling, which sparked controversy, declared IPOB's activities as threats to Nigeria's security and existence. Now, despite these attempts by IPOB to overturn the proscription, the court maintained that the federal government acted lawfully. The original proscription order issued by the late Chief Judge Abdul Kafarati in 2017 remains in place, banning all IPOB activities, especially in the southeast and south-south regions of Nigeria. This decision has reignited debates on the legal and political implications of labeling IPOB as a terrorist organization. Let's come back to the studio where we still have Dr. Dayo Kayode. Dr. Kayode, is it possible you tell us, the meaning of a terrorist organization? And does IPOB, in your estimation, in your assessment,
in my evaluation,
qualify as a terrorist organization?
Now, before you can say Ipob is a terrorist organization, you have to first of all look at their demands and how they are carrying out their activities, their demands, and how they are carrying out, their activities. Also, are they doing it in the open for everybody to see them? Or are they doing it in a hidden form, whereby you only hear their voices, you don't see their faces? All right. Now, let us go back to Spain, the Catalans. You remember?
Yes, the best.
The Catalans, were they declared terrorist organization? But rather, there was a voting. Okay? Also in England, Scotland, some years back. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, the Ipob people,
the Scottish vote of 2014.
Yeah. The Ipob people are saying, listen, we all Nigeria together. If you know you don't want to see us, as a Nigerian, you don't want to give us our rights, then allow us to be on our own. Allow us to be on our own. Now, when you go to United Nations Charter that we are signatories to, when you go to AU Charter, African Union Charter, as regards secession, go to ECOWAS and also see there, and of which we are all signatories to. So why are you declaring them a terrorist group? Now listen, when this thing started, remember, we were having Boko Haram, ISWAP, and all that in the northwest, northeast, and all that. Were they declared terrorist group? The kind of arms and ammunitions that the federal government took to the east to be fighting your citizen that is demanding their rights, you cannot compare it to what they are using to fight Boko Haram and ISWAP. You understand?
Don't you think that the federal government is putting that kind of intense action against the terrorists because, according to the government, you know, Nigeria's unity is not negotiable?
Listen, I will give you an analogy. When you say Nigerian unity is not negotiable, I am somebody that believes in a cohesive Nigeria. That's what I have been preaching. Okay? I believe in cohesive Nigeria. But when you are talking about a cohesive Nigeria, there must also be principle of inclusivity. There must be principle. You must apply the principle of inclusivity in terms of activities of the government, government development, government policies, and all that. And you must always listen to them.
If you talk about inclusivity, does it look like a section of this country, like the IPOB, the Igbo, the Southeast people that we are talking about, do you think they have been excluded from the commanding heights of Nigeria's national life for people to pour into the streets and say, look, we want to exit Nigeria? Is there any form of exclusion?
I will give you an instance. Before Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency, decide to throw in the towel in last general election, he was talking about zoning to the south. Zoning to the south. And he was saying, if we are zoning it to the south, it has to go to the southeast. It has to go to the southeast. But we can come out and say, no, it cannot go to southeast. And some people here and there, they started flying all sorts of flags. That if they give their presidency, they will fight, they will remove themselves because they are the ones that fought civil war. Can a single person fight a war? If you are saying the Southeasterners are culpable of civil war, so also Nigeria is also culpable of civil war.
Yeah, but that was just a party affair. Does it look like it was a state policy?
Listen, it's beyond party affairs. It's beyond it. Because at that time, when you see Igbos, when you see the Igbos, they were so vehement in saying, we want to go because you have not been including us in the affairs of this country.
Exactly my point. Is there any form of state policy like distribution, sharing of resources that you think has excluded the Southeast?
It's not, you don't need to look at the policy. You only look at the action plans.
Okay.
You only look at the actions. When you look at the actions, then you know that there is an intentional, unwritten policy going against, including of Southeast in activities of Nigeria. So for anybody to now come out and declare Ipob a terrorist group, I don't think that person understands what he's saying. I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because you need to go into various charters of United Nations, of AU, of ECOWAS, that we are all part of the signatories.
All right. Thanks very much, Dr. Kayode. Now, let's go back to our diaspora guest. Dr. Damages, let me come straight to you now. IPOB has been an appellate court, sitting in Abuja has affirmed the decision of a lower court that says that, look, IPOB is a terrorist organization. In your understanding of what a terrorist organization is, what is the implication of this designation? And what does it portend, for the in pursuit of peace that has excluded the Southeast, coming as a result of what the Southeast has become, especially the sit-at-home, the unknown gunmen, and all of that? Do you think that this designation is going to put in more pressure on the people, on IPOB to how can I put it now? Is it going to end the crisis in the Southeast? Because, look, IPOB is a terrorist organization, and now the government is going to come with a very big hammer, to ensure that they wipe out members of the IPOB. Is there anything like that? Do we anticipate any kind of thing in that manner?
Let me just start from the beginning. Okay. This is something we have to always remember. Most liberation movements in the world, in the history of the world, were at one point or the other called a terrorist organization. The African National Congress, the party of Nelson Mandela, was once called a terrorist organization. So that's nothing new, okay? Even in America here, during the civil rights movement, there were so many groups that were tagged terrorist organizations. So it's nothing new in the history of liberation movements. The question is, what does the Nigerian government want to achieve? It's up to the Nigerian government. It's their court that reaffirmed what another court in their land already said. And if IPOB were to take it to the Supreme Court, most likely their Supreme Court will reaffirm the same thing. But that's one part of it. The question is, what is Nigeria going to do to resolve the issue behind this conflict? This is not a move, to me, that is moving in that direction. And the government, this new government, is getting to 2 years now, also has followed the same pattern as the last one, which is to ignore it and think that something will change. On the part of the Southeast, okay, I don't think this was an issue, whether it's a terrorist organization or not, that for them. The issue is, what are they going to do to force the government to resolve the crisis? Because the Southeast is becoming, this is something that most people don't know, it's becoming a ghost. So many towns in the Southeast are ghost towns now. People don't live there. There may not be a formal IDP camp, but people in so many towns in Anambra State, in Imo State, have abandoned their localities because of insecurity. And what is the source of this insecurity? Is the activists, is the government, is the what they call local people who are fighting back. So it's a no-go area in so many parts of the Southeast. That's a story that is not out there. Most people are not talking about it. And it's something that worries people who are in the area. So my point is that the government going to get a declaration from the appeals court does not solve the substantial problem, which is, what are you going to do about the situation in the East and the demand of some young people in the East about their situation in Nigeria? That has to be handled. That's the more difficult thing. It's easy to get a court to make a pronouncement, and that doesn't solve any problem.
Dr. Damages, I asked the question in the light of the fact that this designation as a terrorist organization is also a call, to action on the security forces to intensify their efforts to ensure that they eliminate the IPOB. You see, in security studies, if there's a difference between designating someone a terrorist and probably someone as a criminal, a law enforcement criminal.
Chukuma, the first time it was done was 2021, and it hasn't.
But in that 2021, another court in Enugu deproscribed IPOB, said no, IPOB is not a terrorist organization. It was on the strength of that Enugu court that the federal government now had to appeal. Which judgment was delivered?
Chukuma, do you think that the federal government has been dealing with IPOB as if they are considered? They are not considered a terrorist organization? Is that how they've been dealing with them since 2021? They've been dealing with them as if they are a terrorist organization.
No,
So
I think they were being very careful that there was a subsisting court order. And now that
where do you see that? Where is the sign of the federal government being very careful?
no, exactly my point. With this designation now, are you sure that we are going to see a more intense effort on the part of government to wipe out IPOB?
I think the government is doing what they can do. If they had a solution, they will have used it. They don't have any solution to the problem down there. They are doing what they've been doing. I don't think they are going to intensify. What I think will happen, and this is what I want people in the Southeast, people from the Southeast, is that the moment they finish dealing with the issues in the Northeast and Northwest, they will bring their arms, their troops, everything down to the Southeast, and that's when it will be more dangerous. Okay. Right now, they are fighting on three fronts. They are fighting in the South, in the Northeast, they are fighting in the Northwest. So,
I like the fact that you mentioned the fight in the Northeast and the Northwest. How exactly the point? How soon do you think the war in the Southwest, in the Northeast and Northwest can end?
Yes.
Oh no, that. We don't know. They are not winning anywhere. The federal government is not winning anywhere. In the three fronts they are fighting, they are not winning. So there's no end. In fact, it's expanding in the Northwest. In the Northeast, you thought that after more than 10 years, or what am I saying, more than 15 years of fighting, that they will be making any inroads. But it's not. They are not succeeding anywhere.
Okay, then let's come back to the studio now. I think there's an issue that I need to tidy up with Dr. Kayode before I come back to you. Now, Dr. Kayode, you said something about the war in the Southeast, in the Northeast and Northwest, not ending soon. What gives you that impression? Isn't the government doing enough? I mean, we have military buying drones, and there's so much, the APCs, they are requested for APCs and all of that. And there is this kinetic and non-kinetic approaches that the government is putting together to ensure that, look, the war is over. At the point, we heard that 300 of their kingpins have been eliminated and all of that. Do you think the government is not doing enough?
Whatever they are doing now, let us take a costly evaluation of it. Is the government intentional? Is the government intentional? Are they showing any kind of political will to end it? In terms of, you are buying drones, you are buying Tucano jets, you are buying APCs, you are buying this, you are buying that. Can those things fight on their own? Remember, sometimes they will say, okay, they are going to a particular area to go and dislodge those people. And before they get there, those people will have gotten information before they get there.
But we hear that Toriji Bello, is on the run. They killed his son, arrested his brother.
Is it today that their leaders have been on the run? Do you know how many leaders have been on the run? Do you know how many of their leaders they say they have killed? Remember the issue of Sambisa? When Lai Mohammed came out, that Sambisa they will overrun Sambisa in 6 months. By that 6 months, he said Sambisa all these people have been technically defeated. What do you mean by technically defeated? And the following day, they struck. So tell me, are they intentional about it? When you are buying equipment to fight them, are you supposed to be talking about it so that they will know what you are going to buy to fight them? You don't understand. So the question is also this. When you arrest some of them, why are you releasing them to the society? Why are you calling them
repentant
terrorists? Can the terrorists repent? Then how long can it take a terrorist to repent? A terrorist that over the years have been inculcated all those ideas of a terrorist. Another one will you say, yes, somebody who had killed, maimed, raped in a society, and you are saying you are reintegrating that person to that society. How possible is that? No, how possible is that?